Well, we're in Nuuk, Greenland. We're weathered in a little bit here. We're just waiting for some weather to improve on the east coast. We need to get to Kulusuk so that we can fuel up and then do another ocean crossing to Iceland.
Yeah.
So, Luke, what's the weather situation looking like?
Man, it's gorgeous here in Nuuk, but unfortunately, like Chris said, on the east coast, it's just really poor visibility, low ceilings, and the approaches that they have in Kulusuk are just not what we need. So we're here for the day, hanging out, having cappuccinos, coffees, just strategizing for later today and into tomorrow. So we're gonna do some local touring and see what Nuuk has to offer.
So the great thing about being stuck in Nuuk is the European influence. The cappuccino is fantastic. So we're going to head out shortly and take you on a bit of a tour of Nuuk, show you around. It's a beautiful place and there's lots to see here.
Looking forward to it. Great place to be stuck.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And what about Greenland and Nuuk do you find special compared to the rest of the world? What is it about living here that you like?
It's quiet and peaceful.
Yeah.
And we've got fresh water and clean air. There's no war. We have people who don't have too much, but we don't have like massive amounts of poverty and hunger and displacement that you see around the world. So compared to a lot of communities in the world, Greenland is where people are doing better than a lot of other places.
Yeah.
So you can always find people who are down and out on their luck. You can do that in every society, but nobody here. People are not dying on the streets of hunger, and that we do have a social safety net that will care for the weakest. And
so it'd be safe to say you don't feel that you're isolated here.
No, not at all. This is the center of the world. This is.
So what are some of the key economic drivers for Nuuk? Like, is there industry or?
Nuuk is very much a service town.
Okay.
Yeah, and also a government town. This is where the government has its offices, and fishing is one of our big industries, and Royal Greenland is probably the only multinational company we have in Greenland. But this is the oldest part of Nuuk down here, and the yellow house right here is the oldest house in Greenland. We'll see it better when we turn around and come around the other way. Hensel came to Greenland from Norway in 1721. He was looking for the Norsemen of the Vikings, and that had settled here in the 9th century, and they had lost touch with them. The last they've heard of people up here was about 1450, and that's really when the Viking culture vanished, their civilization vanished. This is all new housing out here. Cities like Nuuk, Sisimiut, Ilulissat, and Qaqortoq, they're growing. Like the populations in these areas are growing because that's where the businesses are, that's where things are happening. Sisimiut is the second largest town. Ilulissat and Qaqortoq have a lot of tourism. Qaqortoq is the largest town in the south of Greenland. Ilulissat up north is the one where they have the big glacier. Okay. That's our tourist trip.
cold, crisp morning in Nuuk, and we're trying to get the airplane warmed up and ready to go. On a trip like this, you try and think of everything, but inevitably there's something you forget. I neglected to think that my engine heater is 110 volts and everything here is 230, 50 hertz. So my plug-in engine heater doesn't work, so we had to get Air Greenland to help us out with this big Herman Nelson. It's made for Dash 8s, but we managed to finagle this thing into our cowl to start heating up the engine. We're making good progress here.
About 125 miles to the east-northeast of Nuuk. We were level at flight level 190, but we had a bit of a engine parameter issue. I was noticing at flight level 190 that the pressure was dropping, the oil pressure was dropping. It went from about 30, kind of mid-30s psi to mid-20s, and it was dropping, and so I alerted Chris, and we noticed that the oil temperature was also increasing at the same time. This is the one thing that you do not want to see when you are crossing the Greenland ice cap. So we immediately informed Nuuk information of our issue. We descended. So as we were descending to flight level 150, it went from negative about 36 C to what it is now, negative 28. And then we were seeing that the engine parameters were starting to go in a better direction for us. Pressure was increasing, temperature coming down a little bit. So we'd temporarily turned back towards Nuuk while we were sorting that all out. And then as the information was coming in about what was happening, we felt better about what was really happening. It was mainly due to the extreme cold temperatures, and the oil is just not really doing its job the way it normally does. So we've decided to continue on. We're about a third of the way through the crossing of Greenland, so we're happy again.
Yeah, it's a new experience for us to be up this high, this cold, this far north, but now things are looking good. We're stable. I think we're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Hour and 20 minutes to Kulusuk. So we just had our second engine event of this flight today.
Yeah, it's only been, what, 45 minutes since the last one?
I think my suit's getting full. So we think, again, because of the very, very cold temperatures, it's possible our air intake iced up or got some ice crystals or something, which impeded the flow into the intake.
Which this system
is capable of handling, and so what it does then, it has an alternate air door which is held on by a little magnet, and I've tested it in the hangar before, and you pop on this thing and the magnet lets go and then it pops open, and we noticed a rapid decrease in manifold pressure.
Charlie, Monsieur Kulusuk, watch it. No traffic on the runway, wind trace hold 11, it's 10 magnetic at 11 knots. And there's up to approximately 1 meter of walls along both sidelines, and all lights are obscured by snow.
Understood.
Kulusuk F is Charlie Yankee in contact with the sea loft soda. Oscar Charlie Yankee, Kulusuk, got it.
Holy cow, why is there an airport out here?
Welcome to Kulusuk.
Yeah, we made it.
Lots of action here in Kulusuk. We're clearing snow and helicopters are coming in, and we're just checking out a couple things on the airplane.